Hey everybody, this is Gonzo, and welcome to the pilot episode of the Controversial Film Podcast. I will be going over some of the most controversial films ever released. These are movies that were banned, protested, and reviled publicly. I, along with a couple of my friends, Chop and Jesse, will review these movies and see if they're worthy of their notoriousness. In this pilot episode, we will be reviewing White Dog, the infamous movie from director Sam Fuller that was pulled from theaters a week after release. It was never given an American wide release again until the Criterion Collection released the movie in 2008. The movie follows the antagonist, a white dog who is found by a young actress. And once she discovers that the dog has been trained by its previous owners to attack black people, she becomes determined to train it out of the dog. Rooted in the movie is the question whether nurtured racism is permanent, or whether someone can learn to accept others and grow. So before we start our discussion, I'd just like to have a little disclaimer section. We do not mean to offend. We are purposely watching movies with risky subject matters and that have infamous controversy around them. We apologize if anything we say while discussing what we saw offends, but we are watching these movies so you don't have to. Alright, and now, the Controversial Film Podcast. Alright, welcome to the pilot episode of Controversial Film, or How I Learned to Stop Arguing and Watch the Movie. Working title?
Working title, for sure. Definitely a working
like
title.
I really like it.
It's short for something.
It's short for something. Let's find the acronym later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Anyways, so we watched White Dog, which is a movie that was shot in 1981 and released for like a week before being pulled from theaters in 1982. White Dog. It was then buried by Paramount for 25 years and released finally on home video in 2008 by the Criterion Collection. The movie, which we just saw, is basically controversial for the main plot of a dog that's specifically trained to attack black people. It was, and after sitting through the movie, I feel like, it shouldn't have been pulled from theaters, generally. The dog is not the good guy. I feel like the message was muddled in the controversy.
For sure. The movie itself, like you said, it doesn't really, it's not really that controversial. But it has those elements, but it's nothing to be really offended by.
Yeah,
and
I
get it, but
being
vicious. Yeah,
but
the movie is actually rated PG.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
This was definitely a PG-13 movie.
They didn't have
for sure.
I didn't know that.
It was PG-13.
PG-13 didn't come around till like 84. So like
right,
a few
yeah.
more years until like Gremlins, after Gremlins
Yeah.
and Temple of Doom. That's when they introduced PG-13. But that movie got pretty vicious at times. That dog was amazing.
The
dog was
evil.
definitely like
The highlight of the movie.
Yeah, he was definitely like a great dog like actor.
Yeah, for sure.
Holy shit.
Well trained.
Well-trained.
Very
dog.
well trained.
Like
I didn't catch who in the ending credits. I didn't catch who trained the dog.
Yeah, that's something to look up.
Wow.
Because good credit goes to they had a stunt dog, but like that stunt dog was like the one that did the more barking. But
Yeah.
the main dog had this like snarl. He would like show his teeth and like do stuff. He'd show his teeth and like take something out of like somebody's hand, or like show his teeth and then die.
Whoa.
Spoiler alert, dog does not make it.
It does definitely feel like I'm drawing a blank here. Definitely feels like Where the Red Fern Grows, and I can't think of the name.
Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Dog dies.
Yeah.
But like we're not rooting for this dog like in those movies.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a different take on like the kind of like dog you don't like watching a dog die, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
and
this
that-
dog
yeah.
you're
definitely
kinda down.
had
Exactly.
like a
It-
moment where you thought he would redeem himself, but they hinted at it earlier in the movie that the dog can appear normal, but then it'll just suddenly snap.
Yeah.
And
And it literally attacked the person who said that.
Well,
Yeah.
It
let's
literally
Yeah,
attacked
you're
the
right.
exact person.
You're right.
He's like talking about how his friend had an attack dog, and then one night it just attacked him.
Well, let's start from the beginning a little bit. In the beginning, this lady driving her car, who's the main actress, I'm not sure what her name is,
Yeah.
but
She's
she's
also-
driving a car on like around the hills, like where she lives, and she hits a stray dog that's just walking on the road, and it's a white dog, German Shepherd, and she walks over to it, and calls the ambulance, and they take it to the vet, and so she's running around thinking, oh, I gotta save this dog and put these. Fuck, I'm too high for this. Never mind. She's walking around and trying to find the owner for the dog.
Yeah, she's putting up
And
flyers.
she slowly starts liking the dog even more and wanting to keep it. And then some dude breaks into her house, and for some reason the dog is watching a war movie, and the war movie its volume is at 10.
The woman's what? Well, yeah, the
So
war movie's
The woman,
on.
There's
the woman turned
randomly
it on.
The loudest war movie ever.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's actual guns going off in this woman's apartment building.
Yeah, so there's
Or
like
no, she didn't have it, but she had a really nice.
she had a really
like,
nice house.
house
Yeah.
on the
in, like,
beach. Kinda.
No, it was in like the mountains, like the deserty mountains of like Los Angeles. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and like
Motherfucker.
the really hilly
Yeah.
areas where
Yeah, there was a lot of like.
it was nice place, man.
But anyway, the dog mauls the dude who's trying to rape the actress.
yeah.
And at one point, the dog jumps out of a window to go chase the dude who just left the house to run away. And the dog is just amazing. Like, that's what you have to go in watching this movie knowing. The dog is fantastic.
If you're a fan of dog movies just for like the dog doing cool shit, you'll like this movie.
Yeah, but this is definitely not a movie where you think the dog is too
Yeah.
cute, because like this
He-
dog is white and he gets covered
Yeah.
in blood
The
frequently.
first time you see the dog, you're like, "Oh, this dog is adorable," but then you see it's like
yeah.
crazy monster side, and
Yeah, and this could have easily been a horror movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 They could have shot it slightly different, added like different music. The,
Yeah.
the guy who did the music, Inicio, I forget his first name.
and Neo.
And Neo
Uh,
Malicion or whatever, like the Malicion. I don't know, the dude who did compose like The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Once Upon a Time in
Right.
the West,
Yeah.
Hateful Eight, Django Unchained. He did this movie, and a lot of violins and piano.
Yeah,
Mostly violins
definitely.
and piano, but then when the dog is doing like crazy shit, it's like really bassy. So
Mm.
it's like it must be like like I don't know, a cello or a bass, something like that. And for the '80s, I mean, you could have used like a really techno-y kind of score.
Right.
But somebody picked the Western guy.
For sure.
Yeah.
There was a lot of zoom shots to
Interesting.
eyes too. Like
Yeah.
A lot of
zoom
shots.
shots.
the best one was when the dude was wearing like his full like armor to like train animals. Yeah, so there's a black trainer. So after there's the leading lady who's a young actress. After the dog saves her life from a rapist who broke into her apartment. Again, this movie's PG.
PG,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
rapist gets mauled by the dog, and she's like, "Oh, I'm keeping this dog." And then one day the dog like escapes because he's not really paying attention, doesn't close a
He
single
sees a
door.
Yeah, he sees a
Sees a little
bunny.
rabbit.
Sees a little rabbit. The dog goes away, and then like she looks for the dog, goes to the pound where she sees them kill a dog by putting a dog in a gas
A
chamber.
fucking gas.
Yeah, a
chamber.
little like
in-
small, tiny dog-sized gas chamber.
Yeah.
It was pretty. That's how they
Brutal.
euthanized dogs in the '80s, I guess.
They
yeah.
stopped using the gas chambers.
I-
They
I-
just,
I hope.
Use it on dogs.
I hope, but so she gets really nervous, and then the next night the dog is out on the streets, and there's a street cleaner who happens to be black. So of course the dog like is like, I need to attack this dude, and the dog jumps through the window of the street cleaner's cleaning vehicle and mauls him, and he like keeps on driving, kills a dude, and the street cleaning like car just smashes through a store in slow motion. That was a pretty nice
Completely
shot.
Yeah.
destroying the
Yeah.
store.
Completely destroying the store.
Like there would be a news like front of the papers.
Yeah.
Street cleaner destroys what was it, like
Yeah,
a clothing
mall
store? It was
mall
like-
street cleaner.
Yeah, it looked like it was a big store. Like
Yeah,
think like the main like clothing store, like Macy's or
Right,
something.
right. It looked
Right.
like it because like the street cleaner like went
And-
right into the store, but then like there was another shot where it just kept going.
It kept
Yeah.
going. It was weird. There were 2 walls in that,
Yeah,
so it was
and
like
definitely too old.
There
yeah.
was no like callback to that scene during the
Yeah,
rest of
right,
the
No.
right. Well,
Like the dog got away with it.
Yeah.
the dog got away
Yeah.
with it.
No one
100%.
knew-
Nobody knew he killed that guy.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was the first kill.
that was the first.
Like
kill.
there was no like not even like police were like talking about it or anything.
Yeah.
No, not
there
that
was-
we know.
Nobody hunted him down.
Like
Um,
there was a scene where the police officer came in, or it was like a state trooper came inside while they were eating, celebrating the dog eating the cheeseburger. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could have like said something like, "Yeah, there was a street cleaner guy just like went into the store."
You know what I
they
think.
could have hinted back.
Yeah,
to
they
something
could've-
pretty-
You know what I
Yeah.
think? I think that cop told the owner, the racist trailer park owner of
Yeah.
the dog that where he was. Like maybe
Mm.
maybe the cops
Maybe.
are racist.
Maybe.
You know, it's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I gotta out. That's the white dog. I'm
Right.
gonna make sure I'm tell the owner, the racist owner, to get his racist dog back so he can do more racist things.
Right.
Or because like
They said something like the police wouldn't understand what they were trying to do, trying to cure the dog. They were saying it was
Well,
a humane thing.
yeah.
While they were convinced that the police, if they figured out what they were doing, they would not only put them in jail, but they would kill the dog.
They would
Right.
kill the
They
dog.
would
She
kill the
she
dog.
she liked the dog so much that they didn't want to kill the dog. So after the dog kills the street cleaner, he makes it back to her covered in blood, and she just washes it off. I guess because she thought maybe like it was a rabbit that he killed. He
Yeah,
ended up killing a
because
rabbit.
she was like, "You killed about 4 rabbits, didn't you?"
yeah.
He's just covered in
In
blood.
yeah. And like next day, she like takes the dog to work, where like on set. The actress leading lady is like doing a scene with a black actress
They're on
who's
a
a friend.
gondola,
Yeah,
like,
they're on like a little
like,
boat on
screen on the back.
in Venice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice little shot. It's like one of the cool parts about this movie is like I'm a sucker for movies about movies. So
Right.
like
Yeah.
that was a nice scene.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, and but like nice for like 2 minutes, because then the dog sees that like the you know the main character is with this black woman, so the dog snaps and jumps on her back and mauls her back
Oh yeah.
open.
Mauls her.
Pretty
Back
vicious.
opens. Yeah, it was
vicious.
pretty vicious. Like
Yeah.
we were thinking like they're gonna get the dog off pretty quick, but it was just like
Yeah.
PG movie, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
PG.
PG.
the camera like stayed on like the main actress girl, and like just her like just face completely in shock, and just not doing
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
as
Not
her dog
moving
is,
at
like,
all to help
Yeah.
her friend.
And then her like best friend says that like you gotta euthanize that dog. It's an attack dog, and she's like, no, I can train it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you can't
He
train a
trained
dog
dog.
like that. And then he gets close to her, and the dog starts to like growl.
Great dog.
And he's just like, that dog's going to attack me.
Yeah.
So I'm either gonna get bitten or I'm gonna call 911. And
Yeah.
she's like, please trust me.
Yeah,
Just trust me.
I'll
There's
take
gotta
care
be
of it.
someone.
And that's the last time we see that guy.
That is the last time we
that
see
is
that
the
guy.
last time we see that guy.
That's
He
true.
just never
That guy.
appears again.
He just
He
never
must
appeared
have been
again.
really upset with her.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That is the last time we see that mother. But anyways, she eventually goes to this Hollywood animal tamer business that they train animals to be in movies.
Noah's Ark.
Noah's
Yeah,
Ark,
yeah,
yeah.
that
And
was
like
the
he
name.
has this like crazy like charismatic owner who's like all about using his like animals in movies, and he's really proud that like he was the guy who trained the rattlesnakes in like John Wayne's True Grit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he's using like his syringes for the tranquilizer darts on a dartboard like made up to look like R2-D2 because he hates these new space movies without
The new
any of his animals, and they're
Animatronics
they're the
and
big
props.
they're the big blockbusters, not the era of like horses and Tarzan and like stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
So he's-
yeah.
he's not in-
Animals aren't that big of a deal anymore.
Right, so he's pretty he's not happy about that. But like the girl tells him like the situation, and the owner of Noah's Ark is like, I can't untrain an attack dog. That's just impossible. But like I have this friend Yeah, that
He has like a PTSD kind of moment.
Yeah,
They-
he's like a good monologue where like he's
They
like,
also specifically say white dog. They call it a white dog.
well, right there is when
that's
because
right,
the
yeah.
dog attacks this
Someone
helper
that works at
like
the-
at
the Noah's Ark
at the
place.
at the animal
A
tamer
zoo, I
area.
guess.
Yeah.
well, it's not a zoo. It's more like a animal training facility.
Yeah, it's
Right.
They
That
just
would
have
be
like
perfect.
he
a lot of
handles
exotic
They
animals.
had a
lions.
giant dome for like
for training.
Yeah.
the first time you see it, they're I can't remember
Keys.
that. His
Key-
name is Keys.
in
yeah.
the movie.
In the movie, Keys, the black trainer that ends up helping this dog for like a majority of like the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time you see him, he's brawling with a lion,
Yeah.
like a female lion, and it looked like it was like actually
No,
like
for
a
sure.
stuntman.
Yeah, well,
like,
yeah, they didn't.
fighting
It was
an
dust.
actual
Yeah, they
lion.
were running around, and it was dusty, so you couldn't see Keys' face. It was
Yeah,
probably-
yeah.
He was
because
wearing
that-
a fencing mask.
Yeah, well, like, and in that part, it didn't look like it. Like with the first shot, where he was grabbing the lion's tail.
Yeah.
He was literally
yeah.
grabbing the lion's tail and going around the lion, making the lion spin, and it was like
just messing with the
messing with the
was
yeah.
lion.
It
but
was really incredible.
It was really incredible. Like those
seeing that and
no CGI.
CGI.
That's that
those
real
are all
life.
real animals.
Yeah. And like Keys also did do like it like he was with like real lions and stuff in the movie, like without a mask too, like
Right.
not like tackling them there, but like that one part in the very beginning, the first shot of like seeing that dome when he's
Yeah.
like doing that like lion, it's like a gladiator type you
Yeah.
think, but then they're like just playing. Yeah, and but anyways, so like the owner of the place says that's a white dog. That is a dog trained to attack black people by a racist, and you can't untame that. That dog is racist, and he will kill.
Yeah.
Like so she begs them to.
You gotta when he was being like bred, the people who owned him gave him to a random crack fellow or someone that was begging for money, and they would beat the dog. So the dog would see a black man beating the dog severely, and it would make the dog a racist. That's how the dog was trained.
Is that
That's how they
No,
say it
it
in the
was.
movie.
They paid people to beat the dog.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They paid like lowly dudes that would do anything for money,
yeah? It's
and they would for specifically black people, so that the dog would see the black person
Yeah.
hitting him, so that he would get a hatred for him.
yeah. Later in the movie, like the original owner of the dog shows up, and he's like really proud of it.
Yeah.
He's really
Yeah.
proud of the
It's-
dog.
It's
And
fucking-
yeah, but so
he tries to like hide it at first too, and then once
Yeah.
he's been found out, he kind of
just like doubled it down.
has
Well,
like
she's
a really
white.
menacing smile.
That was the best scene in the movie, I think, like for her at least. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That's where she
there's
kind of
there's
yeah.
I think there's better shots, but that might be the best scene in the movie.
She kind of got written out of the movie once they introduced the
Keys for a bit.
Keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keys kind of took over her role as the caretaker
lead.
for
Yeah.
the dog. So
Yeah. There's. I think that's better for because like
it made
there's
more
no
sense
need to.
because she was messing with the training.
Yeah,
and
there-
he was like, "Hey, you can't do that."
It was good that she had that one like moment with the with the original owner because there's no need to like cut back to her like doing
Right.
laundry.
Yeah.
Doing something
'Cause
with the guy. Who knows? what
The
they
main
were-
Yeah.
character is the dog.
Yeah.
That's the thing
the
about
dog
this
takes
movie.
over.
Like that
Yeah.
girl, the
The dog
lead
is the
actress
main
is the like
Yeah. She's
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 there
a-
to
she's
support
a-
the
for
movie.
filler.
yeah.
she's
She's
kinda
kind of
there
a
for-
victim because like she.
in a way.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah, she-
the movie, like they made like the her friend who gets mauled, the actress
Right.
friend. She like says like, oh you can't you can't just like take in any strangers. You don't know who they are.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
so
your
like
problem.
it's yeah so like it's like she fell in love with like
Some
a
dude that she just
racist
met,
or
yeah.
somebody despicable, and his like dual personality is something that she didn't know about when like or didn't really think about when she
Right.
first met the dog, and and I remember like the black actress at that point was like, I've been going it over like a million times in my head, like what could have set off that dog, and like literally like the main character's like, oh, I don't know, but she totally does at that point. Yeah. At that point, she like really like internalizes like, oh,
because that's after the trainer talks to her.
Yeah, like. Damn, I'm getting it now. Like, it's like connecting all the dots of like a relationship in the past, and it's like, yeah, like that's not cool.
I think the scene that solidifies the dog dying is not the scene where he actually dies, but the scene where he kills the guy in the church.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Because that scene is meant to make the viewer go like, I hate this dog.
Yeah.
Like, this dog is
so
still not learning, and he's gonna go and kill a guy into a church.
Right. So, like, Keyes takes in the dog, and he trains him for a while, and it's not going too well. To the point where the dog actually breaks out,
which is the fantastic. I don't know
how
this dog is so well trained.
Yeah,
and you're thinking the whole time, this dog is a genius.
He is.
He's so smart.
Yeah, they have a lot of like shots of the dog literally like pulling the fence wires out, just pulling and pulling until it creates a hole, and he like climbs out of his pen, which it all looks great. And the actual like basically prison break.
He tries to get over the fence a few times.
It doesn't work.
And it
doesn't work.
Crazy, and he starts hearing the people start shouting, looking, like there's like spotlights. Yeah. It's like an actual prison break. There's spotlights and everything, and he hides under a truck because he hears them like nearby. Oh man.
Yeah.
The dog
it's
goes
smart
like
dog.
full like.
Michael Schofield.
Yeah.
And just like, he goes under
breaking out of a prison.
And while he's under the truck, I mean, like, I mean, dogs don't understand English. But they talk about how the fence is electrified, and the dog never, like, made it to jump to, like, the electrified wires on the top. But, like, they talk about how the fence is electrified before the guys, like, Keyes and the owner go up and look somewhere else. And the dog looks at the fence, and then looks around and sees that there's a truck and a crate, and he like jumps on top of the crate, jumps on top of the truck, and jumps over the fence without touching it, like bends a tree branch, and it sparks the fence with this big shot of like
voltage.
Well, yeah,
just
like
voltage.
Sparks everywhere and slow motion, dog jumping over, and he makes it out, and it's like, damn, this dog is like. Killer racist air bud.
Yeah. He was like some kind of like.
Yeah, if you gave
super dog, like super soldier dog.
Somebody's scouting somewhere for like a dog for basketball. It's like, man, this guy can jump.
Right. So he breaks out of the prison, and he's compound. Yeah. And he kind of ends up on the street, and there's an amazing shot where this little black boy's on the sidewalk, and he's got a red ball, and you see the dog going through trash. And you're thinking the entire time, please don't turn the corner.
Yeah.
Please don't turn the corner. And as soon as the dog's about to turn the corner, the mom comes and grabs the little boy, and they walk away, and the dog doesn't see them.
Just right.
And
the timing is perfect.
It was like just a little anxiety for the movie, just a tiny bit.
Like,
you know.
We all like at the same time. We all went no. Just like all of us, like because we like you can't train the dog to be like, all right, dog. You're going to wait 7 seconds right in this corner, and then you're going to stop paying attention to the trash and walk around the corner. At that point, all the actors on screen will be gone, so you're going to be good, all right? So remember, count to 7, and then go to your cue. Right. Yeah, but it was seamless and perfect. Literally, they walked right out of frame, and the dog went right around the corner, like, simultaneously.
Amazing.
It was great. Yeah, so that worked great.
But he walks to a church after that.
Yeah.
And while at the same time he's walking on the sidewalk, a black man in a suit is walking down the road.
Right.
And the dog sees him and gets angry and starts chasing him.
Right. And like it chases him, and the dude, we were all like, run up a tree. And poor guy went into the church.
We watched this dog climb on top of a truck and jump over an electric fence.
Yes.
After eavesdropping on
the
owner
so maybe
and
the tree wouldn't have done anything. But
this guy was
screwed.
He was screwed.
He was screwed.
Yeah, he was done from the beginning.
But I definitely thought he was going to make it into the church until the dog
he didn't
jumped onto his back
yeah.
and pushed him into the door.
He pushed
Pounces
him.
him.
Yeah, he didn't even make it into. The dog pushed him into the church and like mauled him in like as the dude was crawling down the aisles. It was pretty. And yeah,
pretty PG.
Yeah, really PG.
Apparently,
PG
some
movie.
screaming and mauling,
Yeah,
and then like
just
it pans up to a stained glass window where you see like a sheep and a white dog and like
Yeah, and
Jesus or
it's
something.
no,
Yeah.
it's
some
a,
saint. I don't know
it
who
was,
it was.
It was like a demon
It was a
as
demon?
person. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
It
it was
was-
kind of like this is a fucking demon dog.
The dog was possessed.
And the whole time you're just thinking, I want to like this dog, but there's nothing
There's
that's
nothing
giving
to
me.
like.
I hate this dog. This was the first full-blooded kill.
Yeah,
This is, like
for sure.
He just mauled this dude.
They showed well, actually, they didn't show everything, but like
Well, the
that
dude
felt
bled-
bad.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
that was like really.
and it's never mentioned.
the music with like the it was like an organ or like the like bass keys on the piano.
That was the first kill that they knew about.
That was
Right.
the first kill
But
they
he
knew.
already had killed.
Yeah, well,
Right.
the street cleaner
The street
and
cleaner.
mauled the
The-
rapist
yeah.
and the actress friend.
Yeah.
But at this point, like all the black people that he's mauled, the dog is just innocent, completely innocent. The only person that's deserved it is the white rapist. Dude.
Yeah,
You
is
know
the
what I
white
mean? Like-
rapist,
Yeah.
dude.
like he's
which
just,
is which is funny. It's a funny take on it.
It's just he's just
But-
mauling innocent people like everywhere. Poor yeah. Man.
But Keys pulls up in his truck,
yeah,
and he's got a trank gun, and he sees the dog walking
out bloody
and, yeah,
from the church.
out bloody,
Completely.
and he shoots him with a trank dart, and doesn't kill him.
No, it doesn't kill him there. He
And
wanted
he
to.
walks into the church and he sees what the dog's done, and he's just like, "This is a full-blooded killer. This is gonna be a lot harder than I thought it was going to be."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. But he doesn't want to give up because then there's the next scene where like he's the black man makes it clear that teaching this dog to like not attack black people is a statement. If I can teach this dog, then he can overcome part of like the systemic racism in the world. Like he says something like
Right,
that.
yeah.
Like, and if I can't do it with this dog, I'll get another white dog,
yeah.
and another white dog.
They
And-
completely the female owner and the black
Yeah,
chick
at that point,
completely
she's-
flip flop
Yeah.
opinions because she wanted to save the dog and he was like, no, you
No.
just got to put it down, and they completely
Yeah,
flip-flopped.
originally when she brought the dog to the training place, she brought it there to be trained and not killed.
Right.
But like at this point, after she finds out that she's killed that black man in cold blood at that church, she's just like, you got to kill this dog before he
Yeah.
goes off and kills another black man. And then the black dude's like, oh no, you care about
Yeah.
it. Like
He's just-
you're on board now, huh? Like,
Keys is like, "I need this for science."
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's
like-
it. He's
he was-
just like,
he
"If
was
I
like-
can break this dog, that's going to be the pinnacle."
Yeah, this when I was picking this movie to watch, because of the subject matter, I thought this movie was going to take place in like New York City,
Mhm.
where there's like ghettos or like there's a lot of like inner cities and like I mean there is in LA. Like I'm not saying there isn't, but it like where the movie takes place is very like clean and nice. So I forget where I was gonna go with this. Like, I was expecting, the main actress. She's like, just like in California, you would expect, like a girl in kind of like a little like liberal like bubble because she's like she specifically wants like to be humane in the beginning,
Right.
and she actually like talks politics for a second with her friend when they go on a walk, and he like I forget what they talk about. Specifically, but like he like tells her they talk about Pound and putting down dogs and like
Yeah.
how she like that thinks it's inhumane
Yeah.
and that she saw it in person and that how she's taking the dog in, so like she's like really kind of like she's like sensible in that way that she's thinking like that, and there's a couple of scenes like when like she says like you gotta stop him before he kills another black man,
Right.
and Key's like, oh, now you're all about
Now
the
you're-
cause,
right.
and then the owner shortly after the dog kills the black dude in the church, the owner shows up to her house and she goes off on the owner in front of like her owner's granddaughters. Like she's going like, your grandpa is sick. Do not listen to a single word he says. He's lying to you. You do not like whatever he teaches you. Do not listen to him. And like and that was
disrespecting him in front of his grandpa.
But like literally like she's like. At that point, she's like kind of trying to do like what she can. I think I think it was a good statement for the movie.
Yeah, because that's the thing is this movie was supposed to be controversial, but it really isn't.
No, like
it really isn't. It's an overall good movie.
The owner is like this like she lives in a trailer park, kind of like a southerny looking guy for California, like LA, and he's got this kind of like southern like charm, like old man, like really kind politeness to him. But, like, he admitted, like, right there, happily, yes, I trained this dog to be a white dog.
He went from being shocked to knowing that she knew.
Yeah.
And then he was just, like, in his head, like, the process is just like well, who gives a damn?
I trained it, best there is.
Best there is.
He was really proud that he trained a killer dog.
This is towards a little bit to the end where Keyes learned how to train, like he's getting there. He's getting a little closer. And he's 99% sure that the dog is rehabilitated. But it's the 1% he's worried about.
Yeah, so his final test, one of his final, it might have been his final test.
It was like a few final tests.
He puts the dog on a leash, and at this point the dog won't attack Keyes. So he gets like another black dude that works there. The new guy the dog doesn't know. He's got to pet the dog, and like the dog's a great actor, man. I wouldn't get close to that dog, snarling and everything. And then like he starts petting it, and then it starts to calm down, and then like the dude's right next to it, and that's when around that's exactly the time when like the owner shows up to the actress, and she gets called in to go in there, and like she leaves saying like, I fixed your dog, motherfucker, and she like leaves.
Drives.
She
left her front door wide open.
It's the 80s, I guess. It was a different time. There's only rapists. The rapists break in every now and then.
It's not like you had a rapist walk into your house
and your dog just ran away because you left the door open too. She doesn't learn too much.
Yeah, she really doesn't. She doesn't learn a lot.
She's not that smart.
But
the next scene, she gets there and basically, like, there's this like slow motion shot of like the dog running to Keyes.
And he's wearing nothing.
He's wearing nothing,
and he's showing his chest, he's showing all the like his black skin so that the dog comes at him.
And the dog in slow motion's got his tongue out, his teeth shown.
He's talking about the end.
The end. There's two of these shots, but there's one at the end.
Yeah, there's two.
There's two moments.
But it was a really, really good shot.
Mm-hmm. It was, and it's so good that they did it twice. They did it earlier in the movie, and they did it at the climax when the dog's running the Keyes like that, and then the actress shows up and the dog runs to her just like she did Keyes, and like we're all sitting here like no, like what's going on here?
It like was tricking the viewers.
It really was.
It's like this dog is a fucking.
I do not trust it.
I think it was the boyfriend that said you got a 4-legged ticking time bomb.
You do. You really do, because it was. We don't trust this dog. It could attack anybody.
You really can't.
Like it did the same thing as it did with Keyes. It just stopped right before, got a little bit more calm, and they petted it.
Right.
But then that dog like looks around like while the lady's hugging it, and he sees like the owner of the place just standing there with a cigar. Yeah. Which might be
the big fat white guy.
Yeah, the big fat white dude with a cigar. Maybe the dog attacked him because he had a cigar because the black dude that cleaned the street had a cigar. But at that point, it looked like the dog was literally just attacking anybody. Like,
that's what I thought. I thought that anyone that came near was
literally
kind of,
so like
me.
It was.
Like there was no previous point where the main dog, I don't even know what its name was. I think it said White on the missing thing. Right. But she like called him something else.
She called
it Dr.
Hyde, like
Mr. Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Hyde is the crazy one.
And they're talking about this. They're talking about this at a dinner that they're having, and this is right before the scene where we're just talking about.
Yeah,
they're having a dinner, and they're like they say some stuff about how they're skeptical, and they don't know exactly if he's really rehabilitated.
Yeah,
and they, but the dude, the owner is like really pumped for it. He thinks that it's all good, so he's just like, let's just eat, let's drink. You know, we got it, we did it. You know,
well, what I was saying earlier was the dog didn't really have any beef with the owner. Like,
no, not really.
The owner
Yeah, there was
never,
no
like,
time.
Snapped at him or like
it did seem
rattled
random.
his cage or anything.
It did seem random. It seemed unfortunate and like this dog is just evil. You know what I mean? Like
you can't fix this dog.
Yeah, and the dog.
And that's what made it a good movie, because it was a tragic story.
Exactly.
This dog going through rehabilitation, but he's just so fucked up, and you get to actually see his previous owner. Yeah. And you can see how fucked up the previous owner is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can only make you really... I mean, like, it makes it hard because the dog, you see, kills black people, like, whenever he can.
Yeah.
So, like, how... It's really hard to sympathize with
it's
a character like that.
You don't know how it could end well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it really couldn't have.
No, it couldn't have ended well.
Because it still murdered 3 people.
No, yeah. Two people. Two people. Attacked 4. Oh, in fact, attacked 5, including
probably
the last
killed
one.
more in the past.
And it looked like it was enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
This dog is a killer.
This dog was a killer.
It was...
PG movie.
PG, guys.
PG horror movie with dog.
Yeah, but it was...
A singular, no dogs.
Yeah, it's sitting next to its owner.
Was a shot with a Siberian Husky. I saw it in a cage. So.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that could have been a potential side character, you know. They could have had, like, some talking dog parts where you get to expand on the dog's inner monologues.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, let's Blade Runner. We need to do a voiceover for White Duck so we know what's going on.
When it's zooming out on his corpse, well, today has been a really interesting day.
No.
Yeah.
But
got myself shot because I didn't like the guy, the way the owner was looking at me.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing is, it's just when you're seeing her hold the dog, like she's hugging it, and this is like the end,
final scene
of the film
before he attacks.
It pans to its face, and it looks enraged. And like when I was watching it, I was just like, what could be pissing him off? And I thought it was going to end there. I was like, oh, that dog's gonna double cross her.
Yeah, because like the worst, that's probably like all that dog has to do is turn him by the neck.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
it like had the perfect position, happen. But then it pans to the owner, and then it just full sprint takes on
the owner of the animal training place, not the owner of the dog.
Not Keys.
Yeah.
Not the actress.
But and he
Yeah, he pounces on him, and then mauls him.
But Keys finally whips out his gun that he's had, and he takes 2 shots at the dog, and thankfully the dude didn't die. The kill count's still 2.
And
when you said finally pulls his gun out, every time the dog was like running in slow motion, he like also was in slow motion. It was like the dog was infectious with slow motion. So he's like going like, oh shit, I gotta get my gun. And so he's like slow-mo, like he keeps panning back. Right. The music is like violins going really fast, and you're like going like, what's gonna happen? And then he like has the gun out and he's about to shoot, but then the dog's like happy.
Yeah, exactly. Every time.
And then he's like, oh, whoo! Puts his gun away, and then the dog's just like, and looks at another person, and then he's like, oh god, I gotta get my gun again.
Yeah, get it out again.
And he's like pulling it out, and then the dog's like, oh, it's fine.
It goes to the
missing my owner. Yeah. And then he's just like, woo! And then one last time with the slow motion when we were talking about the camera was going around her neck when she was hugging the dog, and he's like got his teeth showing when it finally shows him. And it starts going slow-mo of him jumping off of her back and like going towards the owner, and he's just like, oh no, I gotta get my gun again.
Yeah, again.
I thought that was
that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
He should have just had the gun
the whole time.
To be fair, this dog played dead so
well. That was what I was gonna say.
Oh my
this
God.
dog's
I thought it was a
teeth were showing.
Yeah.
Its tongue was out on the ground, just sitting there. It looked dead.
Yeah, it looked.
It was amazing.
Dying.
It looked like it was bleeding out because like when the camera was getting closer, he moves like a little bit.
Yeah.
But then like he put his head down, and the camera got really close and didn't move at all.
Then you hear the final like exhale.
Yeah, and like you can see his eyes tearing up.
Yeah,
too, the dog.
That's what made. I thought it was like a still shot at first. It was just like, all right, well, the dog probably didn't want to like stand still, and they want him to look dead, so you just get a like still shot because you're really zoomed in on his face.
Oh yeah.
But you can see like movement.
You can
in
see
his
the eyes
so
literally
it's like,
tear up. So
yeah.
and the exhale is probably added in post. But like because,
Possibly.
no, let's not, because I would give that dog an Oscar.
Dude,
like, okay, you're dying.
it
Okay,
deserves
this
it.
is your last breath. All right, you ready? We're gonna get to here. All right, and that's when you're gonna. That's like
Right?
Like,
How
the dog
do you
is
teach
just too
that?
great.
How do you
Like,
teach that?
that is basically like.
And not to
I've
mention,
seen dogs play basketball and soccer in movies, but this one is the best.
and it was made in 1984.
82.
82. That's amazing.
That's
Whoever trained that dog deserves an award.
Yeah, there should be more awards for like. Well, I guess animal training is less common in movies, but stunt coordination and animal training might be together. That'd be cool. I feel like there should be a little more recognition for that stuff, because that movie, like, the dog was one of the main reasons this movie was good. Like,
oh yeah,
for
sure.
Like,
for sure. The acting wasn't superb.
No.
It wasn't amazing.
No, it wasn't. It was very of the time.
Yeah, it was.
But
it was
like,
pretty mediocre.
it was a good movie. Some of the shots were dated. A lot of zoom shots.
Yeah.
Some were good. Some were annoying.
Some were really good.
So yeah.
Some
were
felt
really
very
good.
out of place.
There was a weird
yeah.
shot where they're zooming in on Key when he's holding his gun at the dog, when the black man's holding the sandwich or trying to get his hand close to it, and it just zooms in on his fingernail.
Yeah.
And they were just trying to show him putting his finger really close to the trigger, but instead of being able to see that, you just see his thumbnail.
Yeah.
It took the entire shot away, and I was just like, well, this is.
I feel you. No, I also
that's one of my things.
I'm with you.
My second biggest gripe with this movie is I wish some of the murders kind of started to I don't know how you like all of those murders somehow came back to the dog. Like they figured that state trooper that comes in for a second and a half for no reason and asks where's
he was asking for directions.
Yeah, he was asking for where's Yamaka's.
That's why I'm saying like that dude is like checking it out. Like,
right, that's what I'm saying.
And like he tipped off the owner. Because that makes no sense.
Right, but it would just been more interesting. He was like, I heard that a man driving a cleaner was seen with mauling marks, or like bite marks
or on the
all
news
around.
Because like she watches TV
right.
sometimes.
Or something that tied the murders together, because
it wasn't really the main focus of the movie. So
I feel that's why
it stopped being her. It moved away from her for a bit.
It became more about like the rehabilitation of the dog,
and it did not work.
Yeah,
it did not work. That dog. It would have just had.
It would have. I think if they added more attention to the whole murder mystery thing going on, then they would have had more. Like they would have introduced like a police officer character, a detective or something.
Yeah.
Someone that's investigating what's going on.
Yeah, with more lines.
And that would have probably made the other, the main owner, the chick.
Yeah.
I can't remember that.
Guilty. Or scared.
She would have been. Yeah, she would have been like trying to hide the evidence that she had a dog there.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And that would have drawn attention away from the dog, though. So
that's true.
They made a decision to.
They did make a decision, but at one point the dude threatened to like go to the police to get his dog back, and she's like, "Go to the police. I'll tell them everything. That your dog. You trained this dog to fucking kill people. It's your fault."
Yeah.
And so I mean, it is.
Yeah.
So I so unless like so that they mentioned it a little bit, but it didn't go anywhere past that.
Right.
It's just a second. Offhand. And like another thing about this movie, looking through the trivia on IMDb, let me just go through a little bit that I read. One of the things is this is actually based on a true story of the authors of the book that this movie is based on. The authors of the book wrote an article on the Time magazine in 1970 based on their like recounting their like story of like how they found a stray white dog, and they brought him in, and when the dog attacked their black gardener in their front yard, and they pulled him away, and then one day the dog broke out and attacked another black man, and then again the dog broke out again, and this time it attacked a black man in a crowd, but specifically the black dude. So the owners of the dog that they found the stray are just like, oh my god, this dog is specifically trained to attack black people, and they wrote a whole magazine article about white dogs and then they wrote the novel. But I mean, it's actually pretty cool that basically the beginning premise, the first few, basically 30 minutes of the movie is kind of what they went through, but with this young actress.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely. Yeah.
And I brought up that she might have been talk about the Los Angeles liberal, the author's wife is an activist, and she wanted the author, her husband, to write the magazine and the book as a political statement, specifically because she felt she was a political activist. His wife was a political.
She wanted
activist.
to bring attention.
Yeah,
to
she
the
wanted
whole
and
training dogs into racial killers.
Exactly, right. That's what the Life magazine article was about. So, and that's because she pushed for the husband to write that thing. So, I mean, there's got the actress, the main character, I guess might be a little bit like the husband's wife, the author's wife, a little bit
right.
a little bit politically minded and pissed off that this dog is been corrupted by the way he's been trained and raised, and how it kind of is an analogy for how racism is nurtured into people too.
Right. It's just like a dog.
Yeah, it's
you train. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's in the movie it does not end well for this analogy. It's
no, it doesn't.
No, it does not.
But it has to happen.
There's no way it ends.
There's
after everything that dog did,
for sure, it had to die.
You can't kill somebody in the church.
Yeah, you killed a man in a church, and he looked happy about it. That was the weird part. It was just covered in blood, happy about it.
And
it's
another
biblical
thing. It was and he looked like a nice black dude with a suit and
everything. He had a suit and everything. He looked well tailored.
On a nice part of the neighborhood, with a church and everything.
And then just mauled to death.
Poor guy. Another controversial thing about this movie that would have made it probably even more infamous is the original director set to direct this movie in 1975 was Roman Polanski, the infamous child rapist.
Oh gosh.
Right? So imagine if it was imagine the freaking perfect storm of directed by the child rapist, the movie of the racist dog that kills black people. Everybody would have had a field day.
It would have looked great on his record.
I'm sure. Yeah, no, nothing can help Roman Polanski. But he's had his career. I'm not gonna. But poor Sam Fuller, the director of this movie, who Paramount just basically buried it. Didn't show it at all for over 25 years because they didn't want to deal with the protest, the backlash.
Yeah.
But this movie, it's on the Criterion Collection for a reason, which is why I picked this movie because if you actually watch it, sit down and watch it, it's a pretty it's a very good dramatic thriller about racism starring a dog.
Yeah.
Rated PG.
Rated PG.
So don't go in expecting racial slurs or anything. There was zero.
No, there was. Nobody cursed once. I don't think there was a single. I've cursed more than in the movie.
The only racist thing was the dog.
The dog was the worst part. People. Yeah, and the rape part. The
rape part.
That was really dark themes. But
a lot of dark themes.
Tame language and the actual violent. Well, the dog was very violent.
To be fair, they showed a lot of. They didn't show a lot of the attack on her. They showed more
dark,
of the dog watching and listening to the deafening sounds of war.
The deafening sounds.
Which is even funnier. Talking about themes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it likes that sound. It looks content.
It did seem happy, but definitely a dark movie. I can see why there were protests before it came out, where people didn't want this movie to be played in cinemas, have kids see this PG movie or stuff like that.
Especially
I can see that. And I mean, thank God now we have PG-13. I mean, I could totally see some of the backlash gone away if critics saw the movie early, with our. Maybe nowadays this movie might get a second chance. it would be pretty cool. The director's dead now, but it would be pretty cool if there was like a commentary with some of the people like who worked on it and never got to see their movie in theaters, you know?
Oh yeah,
Because like they were making this movie and then all of a sudden like the backlash stops it from ever like making its own case, you know?
Right.
But like now you can buy it. It's on the Criterion Collection. You can buy it off of Amazon. Finally released, restored, and I think it's good. It's good that it did.
Yeah.
I think it was only an hour and 20.
Yeah,
I like hour 25
It really wasn't
with credits after that. Yeah, it was pretty good.
And it never dragged on.
No.
It always moved forward.
Yeah,
and that's really good.
You were really nervous about what the dog would do next every single time. Like he showed his teeth. You just didn't trust him. You
right.
Just yeah.
Like you said earlier, this movie could have been a horror movie.
Really easily. Slightly different score with and like showed a little bit more violence or did a little bit less zoom shots, more like tension building stuff, and I feel like it could have been just a straight horror movie.
Yeah.
Where that could have easily gotten an R.
It was like an old Yeller horror movie.
Oh yeah.
It's like you're like, oh, this dog is awesome, man. Like he just saved her from a rapist.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden, this dog goes dark and starts killing black people. And it's just like...
It would definitely be... I feel like it might be like a surprise.
This dog needs to be put down.
It would definitely be a surprise to somebody that got into this movie not knowing anything. Just like, oh, it's a white dog. I like that.
Yeah, he is a white dog.
PG, family movie.
For sure.
Like, that would be bad.
Even the main actress goes like, yeah, I know he's a white dog, like talking about the color of his fur, and the guy has to go like, no, white dog is this, and
seriously,
and she's just like she was kind of like the role of the audience.
Everybody would probably thinks that in their head at one point. It's like it's a white dog who is a white dog.
She's definitely the writers were writing.
Because imagine walking into a pound watching a dog get euthanized right in front of you. So you're like, wow. That's how we're doing it? Okay, well, fuck, I don't want to kill this dog. You empathize, but it's not, this dog doesn't deserve any empathy.
No,
it's an evil dog.
Evil dog. I agree. Bad dog.
Bad
dog.
Bad dog. Pupper.
But good movie.
Yeah, good movie. So I think it's well worth watching if you can find it. I know it's never going to be aired randomly on TV.
For sure.
You're never going to find it on TV.
You're never going to find,
But at one point it was available on Hulu. If you ever see it in a streaming service, check it out. It could have been like really, really bad. Like this plot,
I was expecting
this plot could have been like a grindhouse exploitation like movie that would have really like deserved the controversy.
Right.
But I felt this movie was nuanced and like well shot. Everybody.
It was very tame.
It was very tame. The parts that made you feel uneasy were supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's good movie. If you find it, I recommend it. Anybody else?
I agree. I would watch this, and you'd probably have the same opinion as me. It's not very controversial. I could understand for the time where
it would still be controversial.
I think I think there would definitely be people that would vocally not like the movie and the concept. Yeah. You know,
I get, but it's
but with everything.
I understand.
I mean, Django Unchained, which is a movie that I think is absolutely fine and does not qualify to be like spoken about because it's Quentin Tarantino. It's really mainstream. He's a well respected artist. His like work isn't political statements that you take to Congress. They're just a work of art. Take it as you. But like this is also a work of art, and it's not like that's supposed to be offensive. It was
right.
It wasn't.
That's what I mean by controversial. It really is. It's not offensive.
It's not supposed to be.
It's
offensive.
not supposed to be. And the fact we have a lead black character.
Yeah.
It helps the movie even more because it's like
great.
This is what
we're
not trying to be racist.
He's the best character.
He is the best character. And
they just want to create a plot line that has like some racial tie-ins because like obviously this is a real thing.
No, that's why we're doing this. So like like these movies like deserve to like get a shot and to be talked about in the light of day, and not just grouped up with like straight movies that would be considered like just trash, you
Right.
know, because it's not. It's
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
This one,
There's hidden gems out there.
yeah,
everywhere.
and but like I don't think it's not directly meant to be offensive, but it does talk about subject matter that people like hold like are guard well and don't want to like don't want other people to like pick and prod at it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In front of them in a way they don't like.
I agree.
And to sit through it not expecting what you're gonna see, I can see it being bad. But I do not feel like it got the right chance it did with all the protests before it was out. You know,
Right.
Without actually
I
seeing
think
the movie.
if they actually saw the movie, they would have had
Yeah.
less of an
I feel like
outrage about
it would
for
be
sure.
like what it is today, where it's like there's this certain community online being like, no, this movie's not that. No, I don't like it. Like
Right.
Get Out.
Just because
Get
they don't like
a hit, but like there's still a bunch of people that like online that say like don't like the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
There are some people out there that when they hear White Dog, and they hear it's about a dog that kills black people, and there's a guy trying to rehabilitate it. People are gonna hear that, and they're gonna be like,
Right.
"That doesn't sound like
That's very
a
topical,
movie I
like-
can talk about at the dinner table."
yeah.
Right.
That's
And so
and that
they
that's,
instantly don't want to see it, and they write it off as
Right,
a
yeah.
movie that is not worth seeing, even
Yeah.
without seeing it.
It's-
So they can't make an opinion on it.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Well, but I
what can you do?
I think well worth everybody's time, and I'm
sure.
glad it's re-released. All right, everybody. This is Gonzo.
Chop.
And Jesse.
All right. We'll see you next time. I guess that didn't work.
We'll cut
There it
it
is.
out.
Why are you pressing?